Good morning, dear students. Uh, Today we are going to discuss about the absorption, that is, absorption of the drugs. This absorption will be included in the pharmacokinetic processes. Pharmacokinetic means what? It is the process of ADME, that is, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion of the drugs is called as pharmacokinetic. That is, what happens to the drug in the body is called as pharmacokinetics. So now we are going to study about these ADME processes. So before the drugs can be clinically effective, they must be absorbed. Okay, so first the drug, whatever you will take, that is effective in the body, right? So before going to be, it will give the its pharmacological effects, it should be absorbed. Absorption is the process of the drug moving from its site of delivery into the bloodstream. You can see in this slide. Okay, so the chemical composition of the drug as well as the environment into which the drug is placed work together to determine the rate and extent of the absorption. So the chemical composition of the drug and environment into which the drug is placed, they both together work together to determine the rate and extent of the drug absorption. Okay, so the pharmacokinetic is the science of the rate of movement of the drugs within the biological system that is affected by this ADME. You can see this. Okay, ADME of the modification or medication. Okay, so next you can see these definitions here. See, this is the process of, first one is the process of movement of drug from its, so the movement of drug between one compartment and the other, that is generally blood and the extravascular tissue. The movement of the drug or distribution of the drug we can call, so that is referred as a movement of the drug from one compartment to another compartment is called as distribution. And next comes elimination. It is defined as the process that tends to remove the drug from the body and terminate its action. That is, it is done by two processes. It involves two processes. That is, first one is this one, biotransformation. That is, we can call it as metabolism. Okay, this one you can see here, biotransformation, that is metabolism, which is usually intuitive the drug. Okay. Next, excretion, which is responsible for the exit of the drug metabolites from the body. That is, elimination of the or excretion of the drug metabolites from the body is called as excretion, or removal of the drug from the body, that is called as excretion. So here you can see in this slide, absorption process will be done by, first one is simple diffusion, second one is filtration, third one is active diffusion, and fourth one is facilitated diffusion. So first we'll see about simple diffusion or the passive diffusion. Both are same. So it is also called as the non-ionic diffusion. It is major process for the absorption of the more than 90% of the drugs. So here in this process, what happens in the simple diffusion, most of the drugs will be absorbed in this process, absorbed by this process. That is 90% of the drugs can be absorbed by simple diffusion. It is a flow of the drug across the cell membrane from a solution of higher concentration to the lower concentration. So, and without utilization of the energy and carrier. What happens in this? The drugs across the cell membrane, they moves from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, and they will not use any energy or any carrier for the absorption. Then this passive diffusion is defined by or expressed by the Fick's law of diffusion. That is, you can see here, which states that the drug molecules diffuse from the region of the higher concentration to the one of the lower concentration until the equilibrium is attained. At that rate of diffusion is directly proportional to the concentration gradient across the membrane. So this formula is used. dq by dt is equal to dakm by w divided by h and cgit minus c, where the dq by dt is the rate of this one. dq by dt is the rate of drug diffusion, rate of drug diffusion, rate of drug diffusion, and diffusion, d is the diffusion coefficient of the drug, and a is the surface area of the absorbing membrane. Km by w is the proportion coefficient of the drug between the membrane and the aqueous phase, and cgit minus c is the difference in the concentration of the drug in GI fluid and the plasma. H is the thickness of the membrane length. Next comes pore transport. It is also called as the convective transport or bulk flow, or you can also call it as a filtration. The driving force is hydrostatic pressure or the osmotic difference across the membrane, here this one, and the process is important. This process is important in the absorption of the low molecular weight, that is like generally the water soluble drugs. In this process, water soluble drugs can be absorbed by this pore transport process. Okay, so next, active transport process. This process, the transport process requires the energy from ATP to move the drug molecules from the extracellular to the intracellular matrix. So, from the outside the cell to the inside the cell. Extracellular means outside the cell, whatever the fluid or the molecules will be there, that one. And the inside the cell is intracellular fluid. Whatever the fluid present inside the cell is called as intracellular, and whatever the fluid present outside the cell is called as extracellular. So this process involves the, it require the energy for the transport of the drug molecules, which is from obtained from the ATPs. Okay, so in active transport, the drug moves against the concentration gradient, that is lower concentration to the higher concentration. In the passive transport, what we have seen, that is the movement of the molecule from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. But in the active transport, what happens, this is from the lower concentration to the higher concentration. And active transport require the energy, but passive transport will not be necessary for the energy. This is the difference between these two. Okay, so next, Next is facilitated diffusion. So this one is it is a carrier mediated transport system, that is it requires the carrier for the transport of the drug molecules, operates down the concentration gradient. It is also a downhill process or downhill transport, but at the much faster rate than the passive diffusion. Okay, it is faster than the passive diffusion, and it requires the carrier or mediator for the transport of the drug. That is it is a process which does not require energy, but uses the carrier for the transportation of the drug. So it is not require any energy, but it requires the carrier for the transportation. So in this you can see the example of the vitamin B12, and here in this image, this one is an intrinsic factor. This is vitamin B12, that is a drug, and here it is a carrier which is present in the membrane or cell membrane. So this is a gastrointestinal lumen where the drug is administered. After that, it will be combined with the intrinsic factor, which will help to get bind with the carrier. And after that, in here you can see this B12 IF carrier, intrinsic factor plus carrier, these three will combine or the complex will form. After that, it will move the drug from the GI to bloodstream through the membrane with the help of carrier and intrinsic factor. After that, what happens, the carrier will remain in the membrane, and the this one dissociation of the complex will occur. That is, free vitamin B12 will be distributed in the blood or absorbed in the bloodstream, and intrinsic factor will be separated from the both carrier as well as the drug molecules. Okay, next. So here you can see the simple versus facilitated diffusion difference. So it require the, it is inside the cell and it is outside the cell. It require the lipid molecules, and there is no carrier for it. But in the facilitated diffusion, it require the proteins channels for the binding of the drug. And in the next slide, that is vascular or corpuscular or transport cospular or endocytosis. Okay, so here, like active transport, these are also energy dependent process. Okay, so these are also energy dependent processes. Okay, active transport is also require the energy but not the carrier. But and here also it is also the energy dependent process, but involve the transport of the substance within the vesicles into the cell. So since the mechanism involved the transport across the cell membrane, this phenomenon is responsible for the cellular uptake of the macromolecular nutrients. That means it is responsible for the uptake of the macromolecular nutrients like fats, starch, oil soluble vitamins like A, D, E, K, that is vitamins, and water soluble vitamins like B12 and drugs such as insulin. These all are can be uptake by the corpuscular transport or endocytosis. Okay, so another significance of such process is that the drug is absorbed into the lymphatic circulation, thereby bypassing the first pass hepatic metabolism. Okay, next, vascular transport of the drug can be classified into two categories, that is phagocytosis and phagocytosis. This phagocytosis means it is a uptake of the fluid solute. Whatever the fluid solute will be uptake or cell drinking, you can call it as cell drinking. And phagocytosis is a absorptive uptake of the solid particles. Absorption of the solid particle is phagocytosis. Fluid solute is phagocytosis. Next, factors influencing the absorption of the drug. Whatever the factors which will affect or influence the absorption of the drug, that are, they may include the physical state of the drug, that is it may be solid or liquid or semi solid or powder, whatever the things you are going to, that is the, you can call it as a dosage of the dosage form, you can call. So the state of the drug, liquids are more better absorbed than the solid medicaments because the particle size is same. So the particle size is also one of the factor which influence the absorption. So if the particle size is smaller, then the absorption is larger. If the particle size is larger, then the absorption will be late, or the process will be later. So then the concentration, higher concentration of the drug, if the drugs are high and concentrated, then the drugs will be absorbed, well absorbed in the body. And if they are lower concentrated drugs, then there may be delay in the absorption of the drug. And absorbing surface, if the surface area is larger, then the absorption will be more. If the surface area is smaller, then the absorption will be less. And pH of the drug, that is the acidic drugs are absorbed in the stomach. For example, salicylates, barbiturates, these are the acidic drugs which are absorbed in the stomach. So according to the pH of the drug, they can be absorbed. These are the some of the factors which influence or which affect the absorption of the drug in the body. Next one comes is, that is distribution. Distribution means what? Whatever the drug is absorbed in the body, when you take the drug or administer the drug, first it will be goes to the absorption process. After that, it should be distributed throughout the body, then only it will give the effect, right? So it is a branch of pharmacology or branch of pharmacokinetics which describe the reversible transfer of the drug from the one location to the another location within the body. Once the drug enters into the systemic circulation by absorption or a direct administration, it is just distributed into the interstitial or and intracellular fluids. So it should be distributed in the intracellular fluids. And that is, if the drug administered into the body blood circulation serve as a transport system. When the drug is administered, at that time the blood will act as a transport system for the drugs. Okay, that is, it will help the drug to go throughout the body, distributed throughout the body by the blood circulation to reach its site of action. And each organ or the tissue can receive the different doses of the drugs, and the drug can remain in the different organs of the tissue or for the varying amount of time. And some of the compartments which involved in the distribution, which are required for the distribution, are it may be plasma, interstitial fluid, intracellular fluid, and transcellular fluid. These are the some of the compartments where the distribution will occur. And next one is metabolism. The drug metabolism is the process which leads to the loss of physiological activity. So metabolism means it is the loss of physiological activity. So the chemical reaction will take place, the physical state of the drug will change. When you take the tablet, it will be gets disintegrated in the body, right? So the physical state of the drug is changed now, and after that it increases the water solubility of the drugs, and it should be the drug should be soluble in the water. And as a result, it will help in the rapid elimination of the metabolites. So it is a we can call it as it is a enzymatic modification or chemical modification of the drug in the body is called as metabolism. And the metabolism of the any drug is classified or categorized by two phases. That is, you can see here, first one is biotransformation, that is phase 1 reaction, and second one is conjugation reaction, that is phase 2 reaction. In the biotransformation, what happens, these are the enzyme reactions in which the drug may undergo the some of the processes, that is oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, those which increase the polarity and hydrosolubility of the molecules and serve as a center for the second phase metabolic reaction. So in the biotransformation, what happens, they under the drug or the enzyme, the drug undergo the some of the reactions, that is oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, etc., to make the drug more polar and hydrosoluble or water soluble, and serve for the center for the second phase of metabolite, that is conjugation reaction. And in this, metabolites are combined with the endogenous molecules or the groups such as sulfates, amino acids, and methyl groups, making the molecule more polar and less soluble, more polar, less lipid soluble, and rapidly excreted. This is about the metabolism. And some of the factors which also affect the metabolism also, that is the factors are same as it is, the dose and frequency of the administration, diet and nutritional state, sex and body weight. According to the sex and body weight, there may be changes in the metabolism. And the route of administration, which type of route you have chosen, that is also very important. And time of administration, that is before or after, or environmental conditions like morning, afternoon, night, that all will be uh, responsible for the modification of the metabolism. And the physiological conditions, that is it may be in the pregnancy, in the menstrual cycle, especially for the women, some of the drugs can be avoided at the time of pregnancy and menstruation, or the some of the physical abnormalities. At that time, some of the drugs cannot be administered to the patient. So the in this you can see here, it is here in this chart. You can see first it is the drug at the site of administration. When you administer the drug, first the absorption will takes place. After that, drug goes into the plasma, distribution will occur. After that, it will combine with the plasma and involve in the metabolism. After that, elimination will takes place, and the drug metabolites will be absorbed, or the chemical change will occur. Next, excretion. The excretion is the last process in the pharmacokinetic. Okay, so the drug excretion is the process of the elimination of the drug from the body. All or the sum of the portion of the drug may be undergo the chemical modification and eliminated as the biologically active or inactive metabolite. And there are several routes of elimination for the drugs in the body. That is, you can see here, the first one is kidney, right? Kidney and this liver, these two are the major organs which involve in the excretion process. So in the kidney, the processes are glomerular filtration, tubular secretion, and reabsorption are the processes by which the excretion will occur. And in the liver, metabolism and secretion. And in the lungs, exhalation, that is in the lungs, what happens, inhalation and exhalation will occur. Through the exhalation, the elimination of the some of the drugs can be done. And others are there may be from the saliva, tears, mothers of milk of mother, and hair, skin, through the sweat. Okay, so this is the schematic representation of the absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. You can easily understand by this representation. So medicine at the site of administration, after that medicine will goes into the plasma. So at the site of administration, what happens, absorption will take place. So after the administration of the drug, first the process of absorption will takes place, and after that distributed in the tissues, and medicine goes into the plasma, then undergo the metabolism, that is metabolites bind with the tissue. After last process, that is the excretion, it is done by excretion through the urine, bile, or feces. So this is about the ADME processes. You can understand easily ADME process by this schematic representation. So this completes the ADME process. Thank you.